rape the groupies.
He checked his weapon once more. Yes, cylinder loaded. These homes were all laid up pretty much the same. He knew where the bedrooms were by instinct. Without pause, he walked to where the couple slept, found them snoring, and pulled the trigger. He loved the way their bodies jerked upon impact. His senses tingled, watching them rattle in death, hearing their throats beg for air, watching as their pillows darkened with life's liquid underneath what was left of their skull.
See, we were talking about with our friend of the show, Nicolette. She was talking about how, like, wouldn't you just wake up and run screaming out of the bed as soon as your boyfriend got shot in the head?
Yeah, you gotta think that would be a real eye opener there, something that would get you out. This guy jacked off to that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like that's a penthouse forum, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This guy really enjoyed writing this Richard Ramirez article. It was very long.
It's not true. He
wasn't
like
he took a lot of poetic license.
Midnight. And, now it's time to go. He wasn't having tea. PM every goddamn day.
Good time to kill.
I suppose midnight is a fine time. It's a fine time to smoke a joint and watch a movie.
Yeah, I love that.
That's my favorite thing to do at midnight.
Yeah.
Yep. Richard Ramirez after.
But this is the kind of press. And did that come out during? Well, Richard was still on his killing spree.
What do you mean?
That piece of that article.
No. This is written by some jack off on the internet.
Yeah,
Way later.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I got him like Wave Rider 9499. Yeah.
But I would assume it was a similar sort of sentiment that these people were writing as far as like in the newspapers and things like that. They must have been coming up with these really grandiose ideas of what the Night Stalker was doing.
Of course.
And I'm sure that he loved every goddamn second of that.
Probably just watching Price is Right, eating fucking Hot Pockets.
Yeah, because he's just a drooling dipshit in avias.
Yeah, he's
going into a house with a machete.
He's a total piece of shit. Like you would be the worst employee at the Burger King if he wasn't
absolutely.
Richard Ramirez. Yeah.
Yeah. All the burgers got bites taken out of them.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm a vampire.
You are fired. You are fired, Richard.
Oh, God, I wanted to be fired too soon. When I come back and murder you.
Do you guys think he was serious about...
Nah. Richie!
Richie! All right, so things are really heating up for the Night Stalker.
Yep, he draws a pentagram on Peter Pan's wall and writes the words Jack the Knife.
I mean, that's just him just reaching for shit.
No, that's a Judas Priest lyric.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
He's having fun.
The 1980s, he took Judas Priest lyrics
Judas Priest
to
was
heart,
the most
AC/DC to
hardcore.
heart. I love Judas Priest.
But at this point in time, you forget, now we look at Judas Priest as a bunch of gay clowns. Back in the day.
I saw them live at the Masters of Metal in New Jersey, and they weren't clowning around, Henry.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Very serious.
Back in the day, Judas Priest was like the hardest band around. It's like Judas Priest and AC/DC were fucking the devil's music.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, that was when it was good. When you can wear a leather cap but no one said you were gay. They said that you were tough.
You were tough. That was
a leather ascot and like in tiny go-go boy shorts and big long boots, and everyone be like, look at that tough dude.
Yeah. Nowadays they're like, go back to Soho.
Well, Richard returns to Los Angeles after this, and despite his face being everywhere, and in fact possibly bolstered by it, he goes for what is his last rape and murder. Bill Carnes and the woman in this particular murder rape, I found 3 different names for her. Her name is either Carol Smith, Inez Erickson, or Renata Gunther.
Well, it's Gunther. It's Renata Gunther.
No, but this,
he's definitely bolstered by what's going on in the media because he breaks into these people's house. They're engaged to be married, by the way. He shoots Carnes 3 times in the head, turns himself over to the woman, and he says, you know who I am, don't you? I'm the one they're writing about in the newspapers and on the TV.
I'm the screen door intruder.
Yeah, and he forces her, say, I love Satan, beats the fucking shit out of her, ties her up with neckties, and then sodomizes her while making her say, I love Satan over and over and over.
Well, we've all done that.
And then at the end of it, and then... God damn.
We've all done it?
We've all done it.
You've done it?
Marcus has done it.
I've sodomized a woman. But
there we go. Halfway there.
I hate the term sodomize.
Yeah, I know. It makes it sound like I did something
horrible crime.
Really, like a horrible
like you're
thing.
Richard Ramirez.
No, I have sodomized a few women.
The only, of course.
That makes me sound like I'm a horrible person.
You're not a horrible person.
It was all consensual.
Yeah.
Well, they loved every second of it. I'm sure you're a very attractive lover. to these gals.
Very gentle, Ben.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
he's good.
Yeah.
He's been in a loving relationship for a number of years now.
Yeah.
That's what some would say.
It takes love.
That's good, but it is funny. Marcus and I were talking. If you look at the rap sheet, it's rape, and then it's like sodomy, oral copulation, and murder. And sodomy and oral copulation should not be. It's
Those
the
are
rape and the
activities.
murder. Yeah, exactly. So it is kind of bizarre that I would say that you could make an argument that 2 out of those 4 crimes that he supposedly committed, he should have
they're
been
not
charged
for.
with.
So this happened. He got away with this. What was the buildup that they got?
Did he-
they identify
This
him?
right here.
Did he kill this woman?
He
Yes.
did not kill her.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't. She just killed the man. He as he was walking out of the house, he found $400, and he says, "You know, this is all that saved you. This is all your life is worth." He said, "I
So-
would have killed you if you didn't have the money." And then he says, "Tell him the Night Stalker was here." And she said, "I will." He said, "Say I love Satan." And she said, "I love Satan."
Like
And he-
it's Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. What
Say
is
you-
happening?
Say you love Satan, and then laughs, and then leaves.
So
Well, see you around. It's been fun.
it's interesting that he didn't kill this woman. Again, going back, almost harking back to Zodiac, where he went on that huge dry spell for so long because the media was there just like talking about who he was.
No,
and-
he loved it. He was it.
I know. I mean, but the Zodiac, I don't think he had to go and kill so much because he was getting the satisfaction from the media. He was getting all the fame, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that Ramirez at this time was almost content with his position in serial killer lore?
Maybe.
I mean,
no, I mean, I
Well,
don't.
I mean, he did take a vacation right after this.
yeah.
Yeah.
which is really it's interesting, and of course his story lived on.
Yeah. Well, what happened as far as him getting recognized is that the neighbors heard the screams. In particular, one 13-year-old boy named James Romero III.
Oh.
He noticed an orange station wagon pulling away, an orange Toyota station wagon, which Richard Ramirez had
That was his
stolen.
current vehicle.
Yeah, it was his
Yeah.
current vehicle. And the kid had the wherewithal to write down the license plate
Wow.
number. And, of course, the woman survived. And I take it back. The man survived, too. He got shot 3 times in the face. You got to remember, Richard Ramirez is using real pussy guns here.
Yeah.
A 22? I thought
He's
a
using
22 was a
22.
good.
No, it's not.
No. 22 is a real piece of shit gun. Small bullet. It doesn't have much stopping power. He shot multiple people in the face, and they have survived.
And they survived.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just not about that, really.
Yeah.
It's about the other thing. It's about the conquering and then leaving.
That's right. And a good chef doesn't blame his knife, or a bad chef. It's like you can't blame your
I mean,
knife.
he'd be bad if you got a bad knife.
Well, but he could
he's
still be
that-
a
but
good
this is
chef.
That's chefs and serial killers. It's different.
Well, I mean,
It's
we're talking
still
about butchering.
different, Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I mean, no, a good carpenter doesn't blame his
Tools.
Tools, yeah.
And after this murder is when Richard Ramirez goes out of town. He goes to visit his brother out in Arizona. But while he's gone, the net just fucking comes down on him completely.
Yeah, because then they get because then they pulled a print.
Yeah,
they
they found the car. He had immediately abandoned the car, and they pulled a print from the car, and they were able to match that to the testimony from a middle-aged woman named Donna Myers. She owned a rundown little hotel down in
Yeah, where he had been staying
yeah,
in Skid Row. Yeah,
Yeah,
You make
in
it sound like
Skid
a
Row.
prostitute den the way you said.
it was a prostitute den.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I-
and he constantly talked to her about Satanism and the black arts and all kinds of shit. And in fact, one time she was watching the TV and there was a report about the Night Stalker out, and he walked up behind her and said, "Now, wouldn't you be surprised if I turned out to be the stalker?"
Oh, he's just having fun now.
And she was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, actually, you're like my top 2 people. I think it is.
Yep. I was wishing it was my husband so I could fucking turn him in, get
Yeah.
rid of him. But
So they start, she calls them about that, says his name was Richard. The fingerprints starting to come in. And then once they get, because of course he's been arrested multiple times, as soon as the fingerprint comes back, boom, it's Richard Ramirez, drifter out of Texas. His fucking face is absolutely everywhere. And he has no idea because he's still out in Arizona.
And
It's
this
so
is
funny.
before
he went
Facebook.
he like literally went to go hang out, and then he came back from vacation, and be like, all right, back to work, cleared my head,
Yeah.
and then are we ready to get into the final story?
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking awesome. He walked into apparently he got back into LA. He's back from vacation. You know how it is when you're in a setting.
stressful, yeah, it's kinda
But
sad.
He goes in and
he
they were
was probably
talking
like, I enjoyed vacation, but I'm almost tired from vacation. I need a
Vacation.
vacation from
my
vacation.
vacation.
Yeah, of
and
course.
so he went to a store and he was like, apparently he's like walking on the street. He's like, people were staring at me as I was walking down the street, and
Unreal.
people were staring at me, and he was like, why are people looking at me? And then he walked into the store, he gets something, and he looks at the newspaper, and the newspaper has got a full color photo of him right on the fucking cover, and then he looks, and then people start going, El Matador, El Matador, El Matador, which means the killer.
Okay.
And he sees it, and he fucking takes off. And what's really interesting is that the woman that when we brought up in the first episode was talking about how, like, when Ricky used to poke her in the back in the pencil.
That's right.
She was, like, talking about how they used to play kick the can together, and, like, Richie was always the fastest runner in the neighborhood. And so there's this weird parallel to when he was this kid, where he was this bright, sprightly, like, sports playing kid. He takes off through the neighborhood, and then the police lines start blowing up. There's a dude, like, he's hopping fences. He's running through the neighborhood. People are chasing him down the street. And basically, he gets beaten by a mob. A mob chases him through Los Angeles, and they beat the shit out of him. One had a flagpole. Someone took a flagpole from, like off an American flag and beat him. He was covered in blood, and basically two dudes fucking stood on him. And they were like, and called the cops, and they fucking came and got him. It was like Frankenstein.
It really is. Yeah, it was a pitchfork type situation.
They had to, though. But this is what we were saying, where it's like L.A. worked together and got him. The neighborhoods got him.
What a bizarre feeling.
It was like the end of Machete.
Yes. Great movie starring Danny Trejo.
It's a wonderful movie. When he was arrested, he told a cop, I want the electric chair. They should have shot me on the street. I did it, you know. You guys got me, the Night Stalker. Hey, let me have a gun to play Russian roulette. I'd rather die than spend the rest of my life in prison.
Yep, absolutely. So and then he went to jail, and then began his trial.
You know, it caused the trial lasted 4 years. It cost the state over $2 million in legal costs.
Why did it last so long?
Because the defense attorneys kept giving him the runaround. First of all, he had half a dozen attorneys. He kept firing attorneys and bringing them in. They kept trying to find every single loophole in the system.
But he would have the pentagrams drawn in his hands and doing the thing, and he was doing he was just doing like off the cuff interviews with people talking about Satan.
Yeah, and he kept yelling "Hail Satan" in the middle of the trials. They interviewed 3,000 potential jurors to finally get down to 12.
Like
because
someone who'd be
how do you do it? Yeah.
How do you do it? It ended up being 6 Hispanic, 6 black jurors that were on the trial for Richard Ramirez. There was one juror. This is kind of a funny story. There was one juror.
Well, there's just one of many. You know, it's a laugh a second.
One juror, there was this rumor that Richard Ramirez was trying to smuggle a gun in. Someone was going to give him a gun.
Because he wanted to shoot the
prosecuting attorney.
He did?
Yeah, it's
Richie
weird.
wanted to shoot the prosecuting attorney. I can't believe it.
There was this big rumor, and one day, one of the jurors didn't show up. They went over to her house, and she was shot dead.
Yeah, she was shot dead. So everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's like broke out of jail. He's gonna do it." But then it turns out she was shot dead for a domestic dispute.
Yeah, her husband shot her.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me just say that Marcus did preface this with this is a funny story.
Yes, you did.
But then it did end up with another woman dead.
I didn't say. I didn't mean ha funny. I meant funny old world,
weird.
isn't it? Like,
don't you think it's like this? Like the song "Ironic."
Are we going to be allowed to be around our grandkids? Is that? I'm concerned.
There were over 100 witnesses in the trial. So many eyewitnesses, people that saw him here, people that saw him there, everywhere. Here's the impact they said the media had on Richard. This is from a book by Philip Carlo,
And this is to me, it's really fascinating
it
stuff.
says, for the first time, he realized that to people at night, he was a hero. He was somebody. He liked that. For his whole life, he'd been a tall, lanky nobody, just another angry-eyed, hungry face in a hungry crowd. But now people stopped. People paid attention, stared, and pointed. He figured no matter what he did, they were going to convict him and kill him, so he decided to take control.
But we talk about this all the time with serial killers. In America, we have this weird sort of, like, they really believe that there's like a personal timeline, that you reach this point in your life, you should have a family, you should have XYZ, you should have a job, you should have this level of success. We now are in this place now where, especially in these times, and like in 2014, that people want that validation from people they don't know. They want to be famous.
Yes.
Everybody wants it. And this is just a perfect example of just somebody who, like, he was a misfit. He wasn't all these guys. Every serial killer, they're always like, they're not good at anything. They can't make personal relationships. They're monsters. They don't know what to do. They can't make their way in America. So they're like, well, you know what? I can be a fucking super killer.
I'll get my face on the cover of the whatever which way possible
and
I
a big
can.
scary, and then
If
I'll
that
go
means-
from a frail little piece of shit kid to
right.
the scariest motherfucker in LA.
I'll get on MTV. I can't sing. Well, I'll get impregnated because I'm 15 and a half.
Yeah, and then I'll be on
16 and,
VH1.
yeah. It is a very similar thing, and that's a good point. And it's really fascinating. You wonder if there was the reality show outlet for Richard Ramirez.
Oh, my God.
Would he just be the next or the latest pickup artist?
Yeah,
would
like
he have
Bachelor,
like
but with the Night Stalker, and it's him in a concrete cube.
Would he
And
be
they have
Chris
to keep-
Angel?
He gives the rose through the cube, like the cube bars.
Yeah.
And then they come in and he's grabbing at their hands whenever they get close to him, and then they pull away and be like, "I understand, Richie. Nobody else does. I can't
That's
wait
right.
to get some one-on-one time with him."
He definitely.
Oh my God, he ate my breasts.
Oh wow! And what a good meal they were. It is weird. It is the time. You could argue that he did do exactly what society sort of wanted him to do.
I mean, no,
After they start feeding the dialogue, after they start making the storyline an outline,
that
right?
was the argument he made to himself, was that's how you validate it. Be like, they wanted this out of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Let's
how
hear
you
what he
turn
has.
it.
Let's
Yeah.
hear what he has to say about exactly that.
People in this day and age are brainwashed and programmed like a computer at being nothing more than puppets. This nation, this country is founded in violence. Violent delights tend to have violent ends. Madness is something rare in individuals, but in groups, people, and ages, it is a rule. Killing is killing, whether done for duty, profit, or fun. Men murdered themselves into this democracy.
You're good at reading your script, Richard, but you're not much at answering my direct questions. A lot was made that you're a devil worshiper. Do you worship the devil? Have you ever studied Satanism?
There are different sects of Satanism.
Have you studied, just yes or no, have you studied
Yes,
Satanism?
yes I have.
Are you a worshiper of the devil?
No comment.
Come on, Richard,
I can tell you a little bit about
I'm interested in hearing what you got to say then.
it. Is undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. It is power without charity. A Satanist admits to being evil.
Do you admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another, are we not?
I'm asking you the questions, my friend.
And he's kind of hot. You know, as we were talking about, he's
I know,
kind
it's
of
not-
dreamy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil. Evil has always existed. Perfect world most people seek shall never come to pass. And it's going to get worse. The great epochs of our life is when we gain the courage to rebaptize our evil qualities as being our best qualities.
He kind of sounds like the Native American from Wayne's World 2.
He does. He really does. That's great.
Yeah, no, but he did it. He lived for something technical. What he said, he said that was a part of that was how he validated it as well. And then he went on to get married in jail. He got
did
married
get
in jail
married
to a
in
woman.
jail.
Yeah, I
It's
had a
very,
great
very
time
common.
during the trial. He laughed his way through the entire thing.
Absolutely.
When a
He was-
woman was describing being raped next to her dead husband's body, he cackled.
Right.
Like as loud as he possibly could.
And now he's also playing the part of the black hat. You know what I mean? That's
I
the
mean,
whole
I think
thing.
that he did think it was very funny.
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
yeah, because he did it, and then but then he went on to die in jail
At
of
54
cancer,
years old,
you know, and-
leukemia, and yeah.
But he was that was a true fucking monster. That's a true American monster. He's the scariest one that I think it's the scariest one we've researched so far.
I
It's
have not
important. So
found
again, what
anyone
are the
scarier?
what have the lessons been? If you're in a fight with your couple, don't have one person sleep on the couch.
Yeah, yeah.
Sleep in the bed together.
Say I
Say you
love
love
you.
each other.
Yeah.
Keep your door shut.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Get
Lock
a
it.
gun. I guess I don't know. You
or have
could
a
always
knife
get
by
gun.
your
Have a
bed.
knife. I have a stick that I use.
Well, you're repulsive. No one wants
I
to
use
break
it
into
also
your
to
house.
put a rag on it and I wipe my ass with it.
Yeah, that would work.
So it's got a twofold purpose. I don't know, man.
Just be careful of people with beautiful hair.
This is a dude who was, looking into his eyes is like looking to the eyes of like the real devil. He was a real monster.
He was a beast and
it's
a
great for
dumb human
comedy.
being. Great for comedy. That's why we do it. Thank you guys so much for listening. And that's I guess this concludes our two-parter.
Yeah, absolutely. Join the Facebook page.
That's right.
I'm going to be in LA. So
You'll be Skyping in.
I'll be Skyping in from here on out for the next 2 months. If you're in LA, and you got a line on free burritos, let me know.
Let
I'd
him
love
know.
that. Yeah.
Keep Henry happy when he's out there. Of course, Henry loves you. That's his at Twitter, Marcus Parks, and then I'm Ben Kissel. And yeah, I guess
Hail
that's
Satan
it.
to
You got
everyone.
Roundtable and Top Hat. Listen to those shows too, and of course, watch your Prefaces Going to Hell,
We'll to eventually come out with new episodes. That'll
which
be
will
great.
be very, very exciting. There was a fellow who posted that in advertisement on the Facebook page, and then somebody wrote, "Is it worth watching?" For those that don't know, Henry is the star of your Prefaces Going to Hell, and I assure you, it is worth watching. And if you don't like Henry, you'll love it because he gets urinated on in the first
he gets
episode.
tortured. It's great.
Which is really very perfect. So hail yourselves, everybody.
Hail me!
Alguin.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
If only they could have crept a little louder.
What's that? A louder poop would have helped?
No, like crap.
Okay, crack.
Oh, clapped. I see. I thought you said crapped.
He did, technically.
Oh, I
That's
see.
the
I'm an
accent.
idiot.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
You misunderstood the character.
I'm sorry.
Today's sponsor of Last Podcast on the Left is the nerdy subscription service Loot Crate. If you sign up for Loot Crate, you will receive a monthly box with 6 to 8 cool items like vinyl figurines, comics, shirts, and each month has a specific theme. March's Loot Crate is a dynamite, jam-packed collection of covert operations. You'll find items that celebrate the very best of spies, undercover agents, operatives, and espionage from some of your favorite spy and thriller franchises. So go to lootcrate.com/left and enter the code LEFT, that's LEFT, to save $3 on any new subscription. And now, without further ado, Edmund Kemper, the co-ed killer.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Oh my god, this guy should be in Bartlett's.
If Bartless was without fucking a headless dead girl, am I right?
You are right.
I think the whole Bartlett's quotations would be very different if each quote was about having sex with a headless.
What Bartlett's is?
You've never
No.
done a research paper? You've never tried to make an AIM away message, something classy?
Are those cliff notes for smarts?
No. It's books of quotes that I used to read, I guess in the 7th or 8th grade. Then you'd say something like that where it's like, I don't know, like, I would fight for truth. I would fight for freedom, but instead I fight for these laundry bags. Or I think it's like some weird pithy quote from like Oscar Wilde or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't make up quotes like that.
No.
Half Oscar Wilde quotes.
It's all Oscar Wilde quotes and all just being like, I'd suck a boy's dick if it had cream in it. Oh, wait, it does.
Well,
Oscar Wilde. And they put that on his grave.
I guess depending on the age there. All right, we're ready to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
Okay.
so. I fucking hope so.
That wasn't your behind-the-scenes banter?
No, I would. Yeah, I did it for the audience, but I also
that's
did it
good.
for us.
Thank you. That's Marcus Parks. I'm Ben Kissel. He's taking us.
I'll tell you this. I'm feeling a little lonely these days.
Yep.
Things have been really, the apartment's empty. I'm
Right.
dealing with a lot of stuff.
Really empty.
Really empty.
Yeah, not even a kitchen table.
Not a lot of furniture in my home.
No.
He eats standing up.
I have
man.
to because I lost all my furniture.
Oh.
But I'll never be Edmund Kemper lonely.
No. Well,
You know what I mean? That's the thing. Reading about his life, I'll realize, you know what? I'm fine.
Yeah, you're doing better than Edmund Kemper, Henry. And if that's your base for success, everybody in the free world is doing better than Edmund Kemper.
Everybody but sweet Edmund Kemper.
That's who we're discussing today. Finally got to the big guy, the massive man, the biggest serial killer that's ever existed,
Now,
Mr. Kemper.
In our big hitter series, this guy is sort of like a Randy Johnson.
He's the big unit.
He's the big unit. We got, Edmund Kemper, the co-ed butcher, the co-ed killer, Big Ed.
Oh,
Big-
yeah.
Big, friendly, dumb Ed.
I wonder how he Big Ed.
6'9", 300 pounds.
Yikes.
Little chubby.
Oh, I'd hate to be his pants.
Oh, huge.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is a very big man. Funny little mustache, which I think is fun. He was a very sweet guy. Sweet, fun guy.
No.
I mean, in at the cop bar.
Yeah.
Very sweet, fun guy.
And at the highway department, he had friends, or should we say acquaintances?
He had acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what I would say about him is my feelings towards Edmund Kemper is that he's sort of like a Gamergate nerd. He is the type of killer that I find to be the most pathetic.
Yeah.
Because, like, Dahmer was tortured and Ted Bundy was another sort of displacement killer that we'll talk about later on in the podcast. But like Ted Bundy was kind of, at least he had like people around him. He was just a true fucking psychopath, and Charles Manson was getting his dick sucked 24/7. Edmund Kemper really needed like mystery from the game. You know what I mean? Because he couldn't talk to women.
Yeah. If Edmund Kemper, if he didn't have the childhood that he had, he would have been that really nice guy that worked at the highway department that just watched really fucked up porn.
Maybe. Or he would have been the co-ed killer. Who knows? But
yes.
might go with the latter.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, like, let's go through a little bit about Edmund Kemper. He killed and defiled 6 co-eds, his mother and his mother's best friend, over a period of 3 years in Santa Cruz, California in the early 1970s.
What I'll also say about him, too, is that I remember researching about him before, but I forgot how defiled these corpses were. This guy,
yeah.
he was a bit of, how like Martha Stewart makes like the doilies. It's like, if you leave her alone, she'll shoot out fucking 90 fucking doilies out of her office. That's what he was doing with cutting chicks' heads off and sucking on their feet.
Yeah, he was a real wild fella. Can you
just
imagine?
leave him alone, idle hands.
Is there anything more annoying to kill than your mother and her? Oh my God, talking about pinochle constantly.
Well, according to Peter Vronsky, in my favorite serial killer book, Serial Killers, The Method of Madness of Monsters, Kemper could be described as a displacement killer. He killed 8 people before he finally killed the person that he wanted to murder all along.
King Koopa.
You got King Koopa?
Yeah,
King Koopa's dead? I can't believe King Koopa's dead.
Free.
I love King Koopa. And that plumber was always trying to hurt him?
I went I get that close at the Copa, but I did flying a hammer as I came. Oh, he hit me right in my belly buttons.
Oh my God.
Because I have 2.
3 times. That's all it took.
No, it was his mother. It was not King Koopa.
Oh,
it was his mother. So
also, I feel like that's also very rare in serial killers, where they actually got to the source.
yes,
Where
right.
a lot of times they'll kill around it, because it's like Ted Bundy had built up an image of a woman that he wanted to murder.
Well, it wasn't an image of a woman. It was a woman who had scorned him.
Yes, and so he had went after her for forever.
Yeah, he went after women that
Long brown hair,
parted in the middle.
And so he actually got it. He actually got the dream.
Yeah.
He got to play for the Yankees.
Got the big prize. Got the World Series ring.
So as far as Santa Cruz, California goes, a bit of history about that. In 1965, the University of California opened an adjacent campus. And
that just blew up the hippie population.
Oh, my God, the hippie population, because it was a retirement and tourist community at the time. But within 7 years of the university arriving in Santa Cruz became what was known as the murder capital of the world.
It's just so weird, because it used to be the boogie board capital of the world. And that's the fastest the boogie board capital of anywhere is turned into the murder capital.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened before.
Except for Cleveland.
Yeah, not a lot of water.
Yeah, the boogie board phase of Cleveland was short.
Well, they didn't think through.
No, because all
Gotta
they had
get the
were these
water.
empty alleyways and burnt out football stadiums.
But it rains every now and again. You can use it.
The reason why it was known as the murder capital of the world is because during the period of 1970 to 1973, there was a spate of murders. First of all, John Frazier, who was an extremist in the hippie lifestyle, killed a household of 5 in the Manson family style, meaning he killed them all in one night to stop what he viewed as the spread of progress that was ruining the natural environment.
Well, he's got to kill more than that to do that. And they also need to be guys driving SUVs. That's the problem.
Think about that.
Think about that. Get Ted Nugent.
Oh, yeah.
Get him then. Go get Ted Nugent.
Herbert Mullen, he killed 13 Santa Cruz residents to, as he claimed, stop a super earthquake from sending California into the ocean.
We don't know that he didn't just save the planet.
That is actually the truth. So he could have been a planeteer.
Exactly.
It could be fire, water, wind, earth, heart, and butchering with knives.
I remember that ring. That was a tough ring to get. Your mother would never buy it for you.
Nice, plenty.
People who killed for a reason that is supernatural, you never know when they're telling the truth.
You don't know.
You
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
true. He could have stopped the Ghost Civil War.
We just don't know, do we now?
Yeah, ghost versus ghost, brother against brother.
Let him out. Let him out of prison.
And of course, Edmund Kemper killed 6 freewheeling hitchhiking co-eds. And it could be said that there's possibly some sort of cosmic balance here. The love of the hippie movement with the hatred of the rise of serial killers in the late 60s and early 70s.
This is why if your daughter goes to college, get her a car. You know, you cannot have them out there just hitchhiking all over the place. This should be the new Toyota or Nissan commercials. When your daughter's going to college, do you want her hitchhiking?
Manson, Bundy.
What were they doing?
yeah.
They were walking. No one's ever been pulled from their Prius and murdered.
It also could definitely be proof that hippies are just really easy prey.
Right.
We were actually talking about this, about how, it's really easy to kill a bunch of hippies. If you're calling yourself fucking Moonbeam and you're not saying, hi, my name's Larry Gilmore to everybody, nobody you for to slide into an orgy and fall off a back deck into a ravine. You know what I mean?
That happened a lot.
How many orgies were dead? Just slick with lube, smoking a cigarette, just being like, I don't know. I kind of do like the new Beatles. Slippery slip. And he literally slips for 3 minutes,
right?
Sliding on his own looby-covered feet, and then shoots over the railing.
Yeah.
Never seen again.
Thank God.
Well, guys like Kemper, they effectively helped to end the hippie movement.
Yeah, thank you, Edmund Kemper.
And usher in the super violent 70s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a thing.
I like the hippies a little bit.
The hippies were more fun.
Yeah.
The thing is, these girls that he was killing were not even necessarily hippies. They were just college girls. A lot of them were very, because it's the kind of woman that he liked, which was demure, petite, 5'2",
Pretty.
buxom, gorgeous women.
Because he said, I ain't the best thing to look at, but, I like a pretty girl.
Yeah, he does like a pretty girl.
He's one of those guys that looks like shit. He's fat, but he's like, look at that fucking pig. I'm not going to fuck that fucking pig.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's a problem is that if they got a big, thick old neck, it's so hard to get the bone saw through all that meat. And it's a good, nice, petite young girl. Ooh, so nice. You just take a paring knife, slip. You got a head all of your own.
Sure. Yeah, I've seen that infomercial for the knife.
Ginsu.
Yeah, for the Ginsu, the ninja knife. I forgot that part of it where they were talking about petite.
Yeah,
women.
where it's a screaming petite college co-ed tied to a tear, and he just slowly slices through her, and then he's like, and I could still cut through a tomato.
Wow, and it did.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy it.
Well, these girls, they were not hippies, but they were still living that kind of hippie lifestyle. They
Everyone
were still
was just a hippie, right?
influenced by, pretty much kind of how everyone's just a hipster now. Back then, everybody was kind of a hippie. Now, Kemper, he was among the very first serial killers to talk to the FBI Behavioral Sciences Unit, which really led into serial killer profiling, led to the conviction of like Wayne Williams and people like that. He has among the largest public archives of interviews of any serial killer. He's up there with like the Dahmer 2-hour interview.
Yeah,
but
there's
Kemper
like
has like 5 or 6 hours.
He could have gotten into radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, we already got a 6'7" monster right here.
Hello, how are you?
He would have been perfect for radio.
Yeah, and one of his interviews, he did hours after his conviction.
Yes, and what I actually think is about that, about his personality that feeds that, is that he really was very lonely. He